Greetings and God bless. I just wanted to do a little video about Denver having. Um, so, when you visit or move to Denver, they tell you a little bit about altitude sickness. And if you have chronic illness, low blood pressure, chronic Lyme disease, things like that, that's affecting your circulation and it's kind of low. I personally found altitude sickness just really hard on me. I mean, I just couldn't function like the first week I was here. And then it continued like I've been here like a month and I'm like, I'm still, why am I just so sluggish? I can't think. I feel like I've been kicked in the head. And so I just looked it up, like somehow just looked up air quality. Apparently, there's a lot of what's called ground level ozone in Denver, and it's due. They say it's due to traffic, but last year when there was lockdowns, there was still high levels of ground level ozone. So it's not the traffic that's happening here. They say that volatile organic chemicals play a part with sunlight. Now, I've lived other places where there was a lot of sunlight at lower elevation, and I don't think I had, I mean, I don't know if there was ground level ozone toxicity at other places, but I would add that if you have chronic illness, and you probably are aware of like mold or Superfund sites and stuff. Well, let me just add another one, ground level ozone, because I feel like I have been kicked in the head. I cannot get enough rest. I'll rest and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go out and about, and I just feel like I'm so dizzy. And I'm hydrating. So what they say is hydrate with warm water, eat fruit, um, and they were like, yeah, warm water, hydration with fruit, and there might have been one other thing, um, but I don't know if maybe if you can take oxygen products or maybe hydrogen peroxide or um, I don't know if anybody else has any suggestions, but yeah, in all the research I've done about like all the videos I've watched about Denver, like nobody really pointed out about this ground level um, toxic ozone. And so one other thing I would add is people do not tell you how bad the homeless situation is. Like we always hear about the homeless situation in Portland or the homeless situation in California. I grew up in New York City. I've lived in bad neighborhoods, but the homelessness here in Denver is this other level. It's like a demonization, and people try to tell me, oh, it's fentanyl or whatever, drugs or something like that. And I'm sure drugs are a part of it. I think the legalization of pot and whenever, what was it, 2013 or 15 or something like that, I think that brought people who are just hardcore drug addicts. They were like, I'm moving to Denver. So I think it brought like this the worst of drug addicts in the nation and in the world maybe to Denver. And then Denver is like this CIA hub. Um, but I think it's also this ground level ozone when people are kind of suffocated and poisoned because this ozone affects your alveoli. It interferes with your lungs. It causes asthma and all sorts of other like deadly things. And nobody's talking about it. Like I was trying to look up, the ozone scores just on the Denver, AccuWeather site, and I couldn't find it. And um, like it was like I would have to buy my own meter in order to see what the levels were. I mean, finally, I found how to look up ozone levels in Denver. But, anyways, I really think there should be a little bit more of a heads up about that. But I don't know. That's just me. I guess like in San Francisco, there's like a lot of Superfund sites, and I guess nobody really talked about that. Uh, but you hear about Detroit and the bad water there, or Flint, Michigan, and stuff like that. But like Denver has like this stereotype of outdoorsy, health conscious, and I've got to say, I have never met a more like for a city a more demonized. Like the homeless people here are catastrophic, apocalyptic homeless. Like every other homeless, like every other week, I'm seeing a homeless person without shoes. And Colorado is a cold place, and there's just so much homelessness, and people like spasming and dancing. And I mean, and maybe this is everywhere. I don't know. I was in New York this summer. I did not see the same type of homelessness. Yes, everybody was smoking pot in New York. There were large groups of homeless or drug addicted people hanging out in New York, but I did not see like like um, like marionette kind of demonized people in New York. So there's just something about, and I really wonder if it is this ground level ozone that's just depriving the homeless of more oxygen, and maybe more people here have taken injections. I mean, I know people have been suffocating themselves in New York when I was there, and I'm sure people took injections there. And New York City, that's a hardcore place. Um, but I think the air quality somehow, I mean, in New York does not have great air quality. I mean, I guess it is an island, so, and I'm sorry, when I'm talking about New York, I'm talking about Manhattan. Maybe there's something about maybe more airflow in Manhattan than here, but we're by mountains, and so I don't know. I don't know if it has to do with elevation, but I really would caution, if you have chronic illness, particularly like orthostatic hypotension, low blood pressure, chronic Lyme disease. Denver may be not for you because of the high altitude and the ground level ozone. I I had heard about ozone. But yeah, I think it's really bad here, and apparently Denver is in the top 10 worst cities for bad air quality. And there's tons of good public transportation. Yes, there's traffic. I mean, there's traffic everywhere. There's traffic in Iowa. There's traffic in Portland. There's traffic in South Dakota, Montana. Everybody's driving everywhere. Um, so there's pollution everywhere, and I don't think we should stop. I think it's fine for people to have cars, but I think I just think it's good to be aware. And I think Denver has good public transportation, so I don't think uh, I don't think that's the problem. So, anyways, I just wanted to put that out there for anybody else who's possibly thinking about relocating to the area. And I had heard some not so great things about health stuff Denver wise, and I just came here on a whim. I felt inspired, and I don't think so far it's been kind of not so great. It's been a really tough relocation. So, uh, so I just wanted to let other people who are in the chronic illness community know, and have a heads up about the ground level toxic ozone in Denver, and that combined with that altitude sickness. I don't know if I'm just having prolonged altitude sickness because I do have chronic low blood pressure. So, thank you for watching. God bless.